Fight fans! This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live. So, welcome to the live chat on this beautiful Monday afternoon or night, wherever you guys are at, right? If you're in Australia, Tuesday. Good day, mates. Right? Bryce Productions, Counterpunch to you, brother. Hi. Whitey McCrackison, second that in the building. We have a lot to talk about. Hit that like button. Sure, guys. Hit the like button when you come in. We have a lot to counterpunch today. It's some stuff I just seen, and we got to talk about it. But, first things first, we have some important news that was rumored at first, but now, like I told you guys, is definitely a thing. Okay, it's fact. Alex Krusik, Oleksandr Usyk have parted ways. Okay, Tony Thomas in the building. Ikina, good evening to you. Hit that like button, guys. Mama Lou, what it do? Bars. Well, hello there. Devolki Kraken. Hi. Maybe Usyk wants to play a game with Triple D. No, this doesn't have anything to do with Triple D. Michael, hit that like guy. Absolutely. Shapiso Kikoi. Hello there. Counterpunch to you. Listen, Oleksandr Usyk, Alexander Krusik has parted ways. Okay? Dig, big up. We love you so much. Appreciate you. And of course, I want to know why. I was hoping, because I did a poll. You guys seen the poll. If you guys have voted on my post, appreciate you going to the community side of things and being interactive and voting and giving me your counterpunch on who do you think or what do you think's really real. Is this mind games? Is this something to mess with Triple D? But no, it's not. Tony Britton, counterpunch to you, brother. Hello from the UK. Hope all is good. Tony from the UK in the building. Everything is good. Everything is good. I just got through eating my lunch. Everything was great. But no, I was viewing Talk Sports, and Talk Sports, they had guests, healed jaw Frazier Clark in the building. He just made easy work out of Ebenezer Teta. He's just now having a baby. So, congratulations to Frazier Clark for, conceiving his son with his, or daughter, with his mate. And congratulations to him. Please, is Triple D versus Usyk one match contract or two? Ikena, that's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know if it is. I hope it is. This should be one and done. You know what I mean? I don't want to see a trilogy between these two. Because see, even if Daniel Dubois beats Oleksandr Usyk, I don't want to see another fight. I think what should be fair is one and done, because they've already fought before. Because see, if that was the case, they should have fought again. Right? But Daniel was the mandatory, so that wasn't going to happen, But I hope it's not a contractual bind, because it's a hassle dealing with those type of situations. I'm sick of seeing that shit. If Usyk messes around and loses, I'm tired of it. But then here's the thing. What made Alexander Krusik jump ship? Frazier head. Huh? What's Frazier head? I agree with you. No matter the outcome, no need for a trilogy. No. Because one thing is for certain. Oleksandr Usyk will not be the Usyk that he fought by default in 2023. He just won't be. I don't care if he wins, loses, or draws. He won't be. So this is Daniel Dubois' best chance. I mean, absolute best chance to beat Usyk. Beat his ass while he's 38 years of age. Get him while he's going over the hill. Beat him while he's slowed up that much more. We don't know how much more until he gets into the ring. But we know one thing about Usyk. He's going to be fast. He's going to be quick. He's going to always be fast. He's going to always be quick. The question is his B game or C plus game going to be less than someone's A game or B game that's younger and fresher, like Daniel Dubois? That's what you ask yourself in this situation, because if Daniel Dubois is at his best physical condition, sometimes your best is still not someone's worst. So the question is, Oleksandr Usyk in his later days, will his later day performance be good enough to be the best of Danny Dubois? That's what you ask yourself, regardless of the management, regardless of the coaching, regardless of whatever. It's not gonna matter. I've been saying that same thing. Usyk is getting it. Usyk, if he gets it, it's his time. If Danny Dubois can grab it by the horns, he can do what he's supposed to do. If he can't, he won't. If he quits, that means he got bitch in him. That's all we need to say about Daniel Dubois. If he gets in there with another guy that's like a jackrabbit, that's going side to side, like you know he's going to do, because he's going to maneuver his way and work the fight the way he knows, round by round, get things done. Download data like the damn Matrix, and then go to work on Danny Dubois. What has Danny Dubois learned? What hasn't he? What is he still doing that I can exploit? That's what Usyk is going to do. Okay, but the political side of the outside of the ring, we're talking about the inside of the fight. The outside of the fight is pretty peculiar. What's going on with Oleksandr Usyk? What's happening with Usyk? You know, why did he get rid of someone that he has been with for 11 years, 12 years? Alexander Usyk is like Igis Klimas. Those guys are like this. These guys had a team like a well-oiled machine. Bars. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Yes, JD, Usyk's gone. He's resigned or decided to part ways. You know, a good way of saying I either got fired or I quit. Yes, Alexander Usyk's gone. He's gone from the team of Oleksandr Usyk. But why? That's my thing. Meaning his technical abilities outweigh his physical abilities. Well, I mean, yeah, technically, Usyk is going to be more sound than Danny Dubois, but Danny Dubois has to be better physically, and he may be better physically. He may be better physically now, because I mean, Dubois is a big unit, bro. And let me say this about Danny Dubois: I don't think he's juicing. I don't think he's on the juice. I never said he was on the juice. Some of you guys did. I did not. Now, did I entertain it? Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm open. This is a discussion. This is an open panel. I am not Fidel Castro. I am a guy that wants to know your opinion just as well as mine. It's just my channel, but that doesn't mean you can't say what you feel. And a lot of you guys felt that Danny Dubois was on that juice when he flew his ass southeast to Brazil. And it got very interesting. But saying all that, I don't think Danny Dubois is on anything. I think he's a young guy that has been trained, damn near brainwashed by his father Stan. You know, this is my rock, my shield, and I will wield it. Yeah, dude, they have Danny Dubois saying a Bible verse. Yeah, he has that ingrained. Him and Caroline. Caroline know that verse. He never had juice. Usyk will win by TKO. Who will Usyk look for to translate since Usyk is gone? I don't know. Oleksandr, he's pretty good. And one thing I've noticed about the better successfully you are, the better English you speak. J. Roos Theory in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. You guys hit that like button when you come in, please, and thank you. He's big, but his footwork is one of his worst aspects. That is how Usyk landed the jab KO last time, stepped to the side, snipe over. But that didn't mean he should have did what he did. I mean, I think that was a bitch move. I think that was a bitch move. Bill Knows Boxing in the building. Counter punch to you guys. Subscribe to Bill Knows Boxing. Coming in with those quick and sharp shorts. Alex, hello. Counter punch to you. James Bashir told me he wasn't surprised Usyk let Usyk go. Jay Roos, tell me more. We may go live together and you can tell us the whole thing. Quan Big Guns, what's up, Kurt? Counterpunch to you, Quan Big Guns in the building. Tony, we heard what Alex had to say about Usyk, nothing but respect, but has anyone heard a statement from Usyk on his thoughts of Alex? I don't think you're going to hear any of that shit, and I'm going to tell you why. You're not going to hear anything from Oleksandr Usyk until the fight's over. They're not going to. See, here's the thing about Usyk. Usyk is mentally locked in. He ain't got time for shit like that. That may or may not even been his decision or his sole call to say, you know what, get rid of Alex. He might not even thought that. That might have been something from K2, whoever is in head of K2. It could have been between Igas Klimas and Alex Usyk. It could have been something else like that. It could have been a situation where Igas got into it with Alex Usyk, or Alex Usyk got into it with somebody else, and then they decided, you know what, let me drop my pin. You remember he said that when he was negotiating with Tyson Fury? Let me drop my pin. So he dropped his pin, all right. Before he left, he said, "Hey, thank you to everybody. I'm gracious for everything. God bless, and I'm thankful, and I hope your next steps are great ones. Your next steps, bro. If you're a part of the team, you would never say your. You would never say your next steps. You would say our next steps will be victorious, and I look forward to them. Now, I seen that. I know what a bullshit letdown is. Let me tell you guys something about me. I've had about 50 different jobs in my life, okay? And I'm not talking about acting. I'm talking about before that ever started. 15 years before that, you know what I mean? Over 15 years ago. I know what it's like to quit. I know what it's like to get fired. I know what it's like to bullshit people because I'm quitting. I know how to resign. I know all that. So when I read that, I was like, yeah, he's leaving. Usyk beats Dubois, then hangs it up. Yeah, I know all that. So when I read it, I was like, this dude's quitting. Usyk versus Usyk, these gangsters are fighting over money. Probably so. And it would be sad. It would be sad to see that being the case. And I'm going to tell you why. The same shit happened to Triple G. That's what made me stop. Started losing respect for him. Let's just say that. So it is what it is. Name a car for an edit. Thanks, because that's stupid. But understand this. Gennady Golovkin, if it's over money, okay, let's speculate on that. If it is a money issue, it's not like something we haven't seen before. Triple G and Abel Sanchez, where you know that was like, bro, that was like Mac and Joe. Right? That was like Rocky and Mick. You know what I mean? That was the combination of combinations. And Triple G and Abel Sanchez were thick as thieves. And then all of a sudden, because of money, and you know what happened? Triple G got that contract from DAZN. Remember, he got I can't remember what it was. But it was a huge chunk of money on a contract that DAZN signed him for a few fights. I think he had like 4 or 5 fights from DAZN. Then all of a sudden, him and Abel Sanchez fall out about money. Then Triple G drives up to Big Bear, grabs his shit, puts it in the car. I think he says hey to a couple fighters that were there at the camp. Didn't say anything to Abel Sanchez and drove his ass away. That's sad, man. That's sad. Bashir is an underrated trainer. I don't know why no one in the U.S. wants to work with him. I don't know either. I know he worked with Usyk for like 3 years. You know, and that was bullshit. So if anybody knows what it's like to be let go, it is James Al-Bashir. James Al-Bashir, he was let go for no reason. They emailed this man, thank you for everything. It's been cool. You've been a great asset to the team, but your services are no longer needed. That's what happened. That's what happened to James El Bashir. I remember the whole story. Also, considering Usyk never been knocked down, do y'all really see Triple D knocking him out? And if he can't outbox him for 12 rounds, really, I give this fight 70-25 Usyk honest. I don't think it's about being ever knocked down. Listen. I'm going to tell you why. Him professionally never being knocked down or knocked out doesn't mean anything. Because it don't mean anything until it happens. And then it means everything. Look at Joyce. Joyce has never been down until he was. But in the amateurs, he's been put away a lot. If you guys don't know that, Joyce was put down several times in the amateurs, just like Zhang was, until he got stopped by Caballo. But Usyk has been put down by who? Think about it. Beterbiev. Yes. Beterbiev put him down. Usyk has been knocked down by body shots, and Triple D knows did it too. It was a belt line shot. Well, a lot of people is going to argue that. The whole thing about Dubois. If I'm Team Dubois, I would be lobbying for a ref that does know and will implement and govern the belt line. Get Tony Weeks in there. Get Jay Nady in there. Get somebody like that that's going to be sticklerish about whatever they command. And one thing about, especially Jay Nady is one of those guys. He's sharp. Jay Nady's punctual, and he's a stickler. And that's nothing wrong with that when in that particular line of work. I just can't stand sticklers in other kinds of work when it doesn't really, it's not going to kill you to do certain things, but you just don't want to do it. It's going to be a tricky fight because Triple D is at his best form and Usyk has got all the skills to beat any boxer. May the best man win. Usyk is past his prime. Joyce was fighting cans, bro. No, he wouldn't fight just cans. Bullshit. He wouldn't fight just cans. I'm not going to do that. And because he lost to Zang doesn't mean everybody before him he fought. If that's the case, what are we talking and praising Triple D for? He beat the shit out of him. He made him quit. Joyce did. So don't say that Joyce was just fighting the tomato cans. In fact, the reason why Joyce got his ass handed to him, because he was fighting these tough fights. He was fighting the Dubois. He was fighting the Parkers. He was fighting the Zangs. Yes, Zang just had his number. But don't say, oh, well, he was fighting the tomato. No, he wasn't. No. Because he was whooping guys like Stavern, solid guys, Takum, those guys. Okay? He was fighting those guys and getting them out of there. Hammer, you know what I mean? Those guys, Hammer probably ain't shit now, but Hammer was a durable opponent back in the day. A few years ago, he was. You know what I mean? That's why Dillian White thought that he was going to select someone that was solid enough that gives him rounds, that was going to give him rounds, but he didn't do it. He quit on his ass. He got that check and said, deuce. I quit. Deuce. Usyk, old boxer, but not fact. Just beat cans like Parker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Parker's such a can now. He is such a fucking tomato can. It's ridiculous. Good God in heaven. Come on, man. Don't do Joyce like that. One thing we're not going to do. See, this is why boxing fans are so fickle. Because we're shitty. A lot of people are shitty when it comes to the people that they like. Yeah, they get their ass whooped. So what? Did Joyce really get his ass whooped by Hrgovic like that, though? I mean, can we give Joyce some credit for Christ's sake? I mean, his defense was better. He landed a lot of shots. Was Hrgovic sharper? Yes. He's supposed to be sharper. He's supposed to be a better boxer. But that does not mean that Joe Joyce is, oh, he should hang it up. No, I don't think Joe Joyce should hang it up. And so, see, Joe Joyce will fuck around and whoop somebody that he ain't supposed to whoop. Watch what I tell you. That's what happened to him. He was supposed to beat Zang. Why? Because Zang looked bad against the Jerry Forrest fight. You guys remember that? He looked like shit. Oh, we forget about that quick, don't we? It's funny how we forget about certain fights. And I know you're only as good as your last fight. Come on. Hell yeah, he does. Joyce has a better resume than Wilder, but guess what? He has a better resume than a lot of fighters. You know, so he beat Joseph and he beat Dubois. And guess where they're at right now? So we can't talk about Joe Joyce like that. Joe Joyce is in a strange situation because he's sitting back listening to people ridicule him about, hey man, you're about 40, you need to shut it down. He was a late bloomer, people. Leave him be. He was late. But people are saying quit, give up. When he's sitting there looking at this whole situation, thinking to himself like, dude, the very top dudes right now I've beaten. One's a champ fighting for the undisputed heavyweight champion, and the other one is waiting to fight the undisputed champion. And I've beat them both. I kicked their ass. I beat Joe Parker into submission and knocked him out in the 11th round. And I made Danny Dubois straight up quit like a bitch. So you're telling me because I got whooped by big ass Zang, and then Derek Chisora comes out of nowhere and beats me, do you think I should quit because of that? Then I fought Hrgovic. Yes, I lost to Hrgovic. You know, listen, it's not over till it's over. So I think we should give Joe Joyce a break because Joe Joyce is still a warrior. He's still a warrior. And there's a reason why he got beat. He could have been one of those guys that picked all those little bullshit fights and still would have been undefeated and never fought guys like Zang. And Zang would have never got his opportunity to be where he's at. You see what I mean? Because, I mean, to be honest, Joe Joyce could have cruised controlled when he beat Joseph Parker, when he beat the shit out of him. And Joseph was trying to knock him out. He just couldn't. He didn't have the firepower. He just didn't, you know, you were fighting the juggernaut. So it is what it is. Joyce is good, but he is missing one thing, speed. He's never had speed. Joe Joyce has never had speed. That's just something he's not going to have. So it is what it is. That's just a flaw that he has. It's just like Wilder will never be technical. That's it. He will never be technical, so don't expect it. That's just something that's going to be his flaw, period. Nobody's perfect. If you look for perfection, your ass is going to go blind, period. Parker is on a good run, but does beating Wilder on short notice, out of shape, Bacali really make you that good? No, it doesn't, but it's an argument enough to give him the chance that he had before. That's all. See, justice for Joseph Parker doesn't say he's going to be the best or is the best in the division. What it says is he deserves his chance. If you're going to give somebody a chance and you're going to sign on the dotted line to fight this fighter, give him that chance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the best. Hell, he might go in there and get beat by Dubois if Dubois beats Usyk. Right? Or Usyk might fight Joseph Parker. And I hope if Usyk beats Dubois, Usyk will be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and then history will repeat itself. It's just, in this time, it won't be two brothers. It'll be one man, one champ, one face, one name, and his name is Oleksandr Usyk. But Usyk has to continue what he set out to do. He can't go and jump ship and fight Tyson again just because Tyson decides to come back and, you know, he makes his grand regresar, return, right? Couldn't remember the word in English. Return, because that happens. No, he has to fight Joseph Parker or he has to fight Aget Caballo, period. So it is what it is. Parker, no, strange situation because he rematched Zang. Nobody else had the bottle. Yeah, nobody else wanted Zang. Nobody wanted Zang. Zang was beating people up. And, you know, But Zang showed us that he could be beat too. So it is what it is. Is the Juggernaut your modern day Chisora? He will win some you don't expect, and then he'll lose some you don't expect. Well, what I'm saying is don't shit on him. I don't think anybody's like, I don't think there's no such thing as a modern day Chisora. The modern day Chisora is Chisora. You see what I mean? If Chisora retires, then you see someone similar to that, then you can say the modern day Chisora at that time. But not while Chisora War is still fighting. As long as he's still fighting, you can't say a modern day. No, he is fighting right now. So he is him modern day version of himself. He's the comeback kid. He's the guy that you think, hey man, maybe he should retire. Now he's the #1 IBF heavyweight contender. So yeah. Atomo wouldn't fight Joyce. Wouldn't fight Joyce yet. I don't see why he wouldn't fight Joyce. That would be an easy fight for him. That would be I wouldn't want to see that fight though. It would be like little brother versus big brother. It'd be like fighting his uncle. It'd be like fighting his old uncle. Hey uncle, I gotta beat you up now. You signed to fight me, so this is what it's gonna be, You just hope the fighters know when it's over. Bill knows boxing, you definitely do, sir. You have to know when it's over, but I don't know. But here's the thing. It's over when it's over, but you have to take and you have to have faith in your team. And it comes back to the whole live title, the live stream title of Usyk in Crawford. So you have to know your team. Did Oleksandr Usyk find something foul about Crawford? There's a reason, bro. You don't stay with a person that long. Get to this point in your career and then say, hey, I'm out. Now, like I told you guys in the video that what was it, yesterday? Was that a yesterday one or a day before yesterday? I don't know. But you probably won't find out anything about Oleksandr Usyk until the fight's over. I can see that you are a big Joyce fan. I must hit a nerve, just my own opinion. Parker sometimes looks great, but not always. No, it's not that. It's not that I am a fan of Joyce. I mean, I appreciate what he's done. I ain't just over the moon for Joyce. I just don't like it when people shit on fighters just because they're in a bad spot right now. See, you're in a bad spot right now. Like you look at, okay, my channel is not where it was, but that don't mean I'm gonna quit. That don't mean you can call it a day. I'm gonna start another channel for shorts because of the way things have changed. That being said, Joyce, he's done what he's done, and until he retires, I think we should give every fighter their respect. Joyce has an awesome character integrity. Yeah. Joyce's fight was a turning point in Parker's career. Yeah, it was. It really was. Joyce fighting 6-round fights at 35. He started too late. He did start late. And it was crazy though. You would think that he was one of the younger dudes, like the Atomas, and hanging behind Joshua and Fury, and little did we know, and you realize this dude that's sitting behind us, that's a damn prospect. He's older than us. This dude's like 3-4 years older than us. Joshua's 35. Joyce is like 39. Or is he 40? I don't know, but he's a lot older than those dudes, and he's sitting behind them like, yeah, you guys. I mean, how do you pivot off your jab? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? This guy's damn near 40. I agree with you 100% about Joyce. Yeah, man, Joyce will fight, and then he'll kick somebody's ass, and then look at Dave Allen. Dave Allen retired, then came back. And I don't care what you say. Dave Allen is a party animal. I think Dave Allen drinks a lot. I think he smokes weed. He might do some coke. You know what I mean? And he partied a lot of his. He'll tell you. Dave Allen will tell you. He was a party animal. He was a Arturo Gatti. He was a Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Jr. You know what I mean? He was a Pernell Whitaker. He was an Oscar De La Coca. He was one of those dudes. Now look at him. Now he's about to fight, possibly, he's in talks to fighting Joseph Parker. He's in talks to fighting Joseph Parker, the WBO interim heavyweight champion of the world. Mm, mm, mm. Now imagine that. Imagine that. He gets hit too much. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, so you don't really know where these guys are going to be. All it takes is one fight. All it takes is one punch to change their life. Fuck it. Let's do this. How about George, the lean, mean, fat, reducing machine, the oldest heavyweight champion, 45 years, 8 months, old guy. Look what he did to Michael Moore. All it takes is one punch. And guess where he's at? The rest is history, right? And if it wasn't for him knocking out Michael Moore, you think he was going to get a lean, mean, fat producer machine? Opportunity? No. So one thing begat the other thing. And the other thing actually made more than he made in his whole boxing career. And that was the damn Foreman grill. I think Joe needs to cut about 15 pounds and work the speed bag to put his hands up and 60% of more of the time. Justin, I don't know. I mean, because he tried that shit with Zang. He lost a lot of weight in the Zang rematch. And shit, I don't know. Didn't really help him with that. Undisputed is bullshit. Because Floyd and Pacquiao, and without it, both because boxers of the decade, no belts will make you a great fighter if you don't have a worthy opposition. I mean, that's true. But if you do have a worthy opposition, it makes it all together more. You know? Foreman was a killer, Avatar Dillian. But I mean, people used to laugh at George Foreman. You old pot-bellied, bald-headed ass, preaching boxer that needs to go home and preach and raise your kids that you all named George. People used to talk shit about Foreman a lot. When Foreman used to be in them fights, people used to laugh at Foreman. This is no joke, people. They used to laugh at George Foreman. They used to laugh at him. They used to laugh at him. They used to make fun. Look at it, punching preacher. Look at him, y'all. This motherfucker's damn near 50. Fighting them young dudes. Holyfield beating the shit out of him. Then Lennox Lewis. You know what I mean? Guys like that. Things like that. Dave Allen is probably better than his career has shown. As you say, probably party too much. And he admits that he never trained properly, never took it serious. I wouldn't count him out against Parker. Man, if he beats Joseph Parker, that means the heavyweight division, boxing is the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Simply based off the fact that it's untamed, it's unpredictable. Any sport, especially a sport like boxing, it ain't a team sport. Any sport that's that unpredictable, you should always pay attention to. In each and every fight, you should never take for granted. Because the minute you take a fight or a match, a bout for granted, that will be the fight that you're like, oh, 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 oh. No, here it is. Oh, oh. Because you're tripped out because you can't believe what you're seeing. That's what boxing produces. That's what drops that dopamine when you see someone get hit that didn't supposed to get hit, or hurt that didn't supposed to be hurt, or go down that didn't supposed to go down, or get knocked out when they didn't supposed to get knocked out. And that's what happens. That's the beauty of boxing, baby. It is what it is. You know. So, look. Daniel Dubois and AJ. Why do you think I cringed? Because looking at AJ versus Daniel Dubois, think about it. AJ versus Daniel Dubois. People are still like, WTF, WTF. What is this about, man? What is this really about? Holyfield abused old George, beat the crap out of him. Man, shit, watch that again. XK Shots, Z. Watch that shit again. Oh, Foreman had his time. Yeah, look, and even Holyfield will tell you that about Foreman. Shit, Foreman was the toughest fight he's been in there with. Facts. You better ask somebody. Ask Foreman. Ask Holyfield. I mean, you can't ask Foreman. Ask Holyfield, right? God bless the dead. Ask Holyfield. Holyfield will tell you. Well, he's probably the hardest fighter that I ever fought. And like my mama said, that if you fight somebody that fights you back, you in for a fight. I thought Holyfield was landing at will. He was landing, but he was also getting hit too. Watch that fight again. Just watch it again. Holyfield was the hardest puncher was in with, including Mike. I'll have to watch it back. Yes, please. I get that, Kurt. Watch the reaction of True Jordy in his panel when Dubois KO'd AJ. They went absolutely mental. Everybody was mental. I was sick. Bro. That it was like this. Let me be real with you guys. I got 92,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for the support. I have 8,000 more to go. But do you understand that shit like that? Boxing is so unpredictable, right? Unadulterated. That if AJ would have knocked out Danny Dubois, do you understand Tyson Fury probably wouldn't even retire? He wouldn't have retired. We wouldn't even be looking at certain fights that we're looking at now. There would be no Joseph Parker versus Danny Dubois to cancel because there would be no Danny Dubois versus Joseph Parker. You would have AJ, the 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. All the AJ fans and the fanboys would have came. I probably would have had 120,000 subscribers right now if that shit would have happened. So it's not always about the channels. We're just instruments. We are just people that, promote and produce news to you. But understand the sway of boxing goes a certain way. The popular fighters will always be the ones that are looked at. You think people care about Danny Dubois like AJ? Hell no. Let me prove it to you. Look at my views. What you got, Punch Drunk? My man Punch Drunk sent me a video. Anyway, is Wilder going to have a press conference for his upcoming fight? Bro, I haven't seen anything about Wilder. He's fighting this Friday, so I doubt it. It's in Wichita, Kansas. I was going to go see the fight. Big Kurt of the building all day. Babur Khan, counterpunch to you, brother. Yeah, no Parker versus Dubois. It would have been Parker versus Usyk for the WBO. It probably would have been. Because Parker was ready, and I think he was on fire. And I think that particular Parker, with the added weight, possibly, would have beat Dubois. But we don't know. There's no way of knowing. Because Dubois didn't fight him. Oliveira, Topuria will win. Why was there no press conference for Wilder? It just wasn't a big enough fight. Period. It wasn't a big enough fight unless they have one this week, unless they have one tomorrow. It has to be tomorrow because the weigh-in is Thursday. So they have to have a final press conference or some type of press conference Tuesday or Wednesday. David Former joined late today. Hey, David, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Do you think a prime Wilder would have beaten? Let's see, beaten a prime AJ? Here's the thing. We'll never know that. I think a prime Wilder would have knocked out AJ and every other heavyweight of that time if he would have caught him right. Bring Triple D bringing them belts home. Okay. Did I miss the Allen versus Parker chat? Little bit. Yeah, you did. You did. Have you seen Wilder's latest interviews? That Telly chick done him bad. He talks about betrayal. Yeah, she did. She did. I mean, if you read between the lines between Wilder and what he like went through and what he did for her. See, understand a few years back, you seen Telly Swift everywhere, all on the gram. She was on Instagram. She was doing interviews. She had a podcast. She had like a clothing line. And then you also, if you cut to Wilder, Wilder's like, yeah, I helped her with these businesses, getting them off the air. Yeah, she used your fucking money to do it. She needed money to start those businesses, which that's her man, which is nothing wrong with it. The only problem is, do we know that just because you got those up and running, do we know that that's all you wanted? You know what I mean? Did we know that went hand in hand with your success as a heavyweight? If Deontay Wilder was still the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, all the shit that you signed and you complained and you jotted down and made a report of and you sent to the police station for a reason to have a band or a peace bond against you, how do we know those would have been put into place if he wouldn't been that? If he lost, therefore all of this came to the forefront. Yeah, he was hurt. Shit, yeah, was hurt. Do you think it's fair assessment for pundits to compare Wardley to Wilder? No, I don't, because how can we get mad at them comparing Wardley to Wilder when Ben Davison himself, the trainer of Wardley, compares him to Wilder? So yeah, I mean, they're doing that. Wardley himself is doing that. So yeah, it's warranted. It's a good thing. Wilder's a guy. It's not a great thing, but it's a good thing. And I'm going to tell you how. Easy. You want to label yourself like the bronze bomber. You're the gold bomber. You're the beige bomber. Right? Fabio Wardley, the beige bomber. Right? There we go. That's his new name. The beige bomber, Fabio Wardley. Okay, but remember something. He was getting his ass whooped by Justice Hooney. I mean, bad. He was getting that ass taxed. But now you want to be labeled behind Wilder. But understand, Wilder had his day coming because somebody was going to eventually beat that ass. So if you want to label yourself a model behind a guy and his mentality and that right hand and that limitation of what you can do in the ring, so be it. Because one day you're going to find out just like the bronze bomber found out. And that's no disrespect to Fabio Wardley. I'm glad that he got what he got, but he got lucky. Like my man G-Man Boxing said. G-Man was like, woo, he got lucky with that team. He did get lucky because he could have got his ass taxed if he didn't land that right hand. So he can label himself like that because it helped Wilder and it got Wilder out of stuff. And it will get him out of more stuff more than likely, Fabio. His reign probably ain't over. He'll probably catch somebody else with that same right hand. There's a jab, throw that right. There's a jab, counter with that right. Wardley would murder Wilder. Well, if he did, being the age that he is, would you be surprised? That's the question you ask yourself. I mean, logically, would you be surprised if Wardley knocked out Wilder? I mean, Wilder's been knocked out before. Zang, Tyson Fury twice. Yeah. David Haye versus Wilder would have been a good fight. Yeah, but it didn't happen. But we did get the luxury to see those guys go at it in sparring. So sometimes sparring is pretty much all we have to go on fights that never happen. At least we had a platform for that particular showdown. Even though it was, protected and, it wasn't full contact, but it was some form of contact, right? Yeah, that spar was fire. It was. And Haye was catching him. Boom! But understand, what people don't understand about Wilder, if Wilder's durability is gone, it took a while for that durability to be gone. Because sparring takes a lot out of you. Too, people don't understand that. You don't realize that. When you spar anybody, let's say you spar for, let's say in a week's time, fuck it, 5 days. You spar somebody for 5 days. So let's say me and my buddy Michael Hunter. Let's say we spar for 5 days. And in those 5 days, we do 60 rounds. 60. That's a lot of rounds. But in 5 days. Understand, if these are hard spars, if these like spars where we're grueling and, because one thing about me, and shout out to John Five, a good friend of mine, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. And he was saying that like Kurt, when you get caught with a shot, you're rather vindictive. You know what I mean? It's like when somebody catches me with a good shot, in my mind, I'm going to get you back. But that's just the competitive nature I have. When somebody knocks the shit out of me, you know what I mean? If I feel that shot, I'm going to make them feel one. That's just me. So, in other words, if I'm fighting someone like Michael Hunter, hopefully someone like Michael Hunter will take it easy on me because I haven't sparred in a while. But those 5 days, they're going to take something out of you, especially if they're hard spars. If they're hard spars, that shit's going to 60 rounds. That's going to take something out of you. Contact or not, it doesn't matter. You're going to get hit. You're still taking punishment. You're still in the ring. You're still sweating. You're still using energy. You're still perspiring. You're still doing a lot of this stuff. Injuries are injuries. Don't matter if it's sparring or not. They all add up. Absolutely. So that matters. That adds up. So saying all that to say this about Wilder. Deontay Wilder is a guy that, he took solid right hands from guys like David Haye. David Haye was like, dude, David was catching, he was rocking for Wilder. So was Hrgovic. Hrgovic was catching Wilder at will. So to say Wilder is a bitch or to say he's chinny, understand, if he's chinny now, that means his durability is shot based on the damage that he took over the years. The dude's damn near 40 years old. He will be 40 in October. So that means that he took a lot of damage over the years. Therefore, he doesn't have that shield, that unscarred or that used up shield. His shield is worn. Those shots that he's taken has took a toll on him. He can't take those shots like that no more. Wilder was curling over him from them body shots. Hell yeah, he was. Frank Warren did say that he's up for a rematch, but I think that's bullshit. I think Frank was just saying that just for the sake of saying it. Hrgovic is like Wildin, no power, very overrated. I don't know about that. I think what we need to do, we need to ask Zang. I think we need to ask Danny Dubois, because if that's the case, if Hrgovic can't punch, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because if Hrgovic can't punch, that means that maybe Dubois, you can't give Dubois too much credit for taking those shots then. Right? I mean, AJ caught him a couple times. He caught him with an uppercut and a couple of right hands in a 5-round fight. But even, Dubois was buckled from those shots. Because, AJ can crack. Right? Caballero would have Wardley on the canvas from. Brandino TNL. Caballero would have had Fabio on the ground probably in round 4 or 5. No, probably round 6, because I think Fabio would have moved a little bit, but eventually, yeah. But then, Fabio, though, understands someone that likes to commit to the body like those guys did, they're always at risk of getting caught with shots upstairs. So to be fair about it, Fabio, knowing that, because Caballero is one of those guys that systematically, by work rate, chops you down, and not every shot has the same amount of stank on it. Every shot that Caballero hits you with, you're going to think, and a lot of them are arm shots until he likes to dig. When he digs, he turns his waist. He turns his waist and he puts it in. So, da, 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 and he turns When he turns, that shit hurts. Because now he's putting power in him. He's sitting down on those shots. Bro, Caballero, I would love to see. That would be an absolute disaster if they were ballsy enough to put to put Fabio Wardley in there with I get Caballero. That would be stupid seeing that what we just saw with Justice Honey. You got shit. Caballero Jr. almost whooped you. What do you think Caballero Sr. is going to do? Caballero Sr. is going to go in there and fuck you up. Pardon my French. Hello, Kurt Love from Lagos, Nigeria. Del Osho in the building. Counterpunch to you. Every time AJ goes in the ring, he seems to forget he's a fighter. Yeah, I don't know. Boss model, Hugo Boss model, Hummer model. I don't know. Some kind of model. Fitness model. I don't know what's up with AJ at that time. I mean, when AJ's on, he's on. But then when he's not, he's not. Dillian White said the best he could have explained of AJ. AJ's either going to be the best version of himself or he's going to be the worst version of himself. Period. So he's either going to be very good or very bad. There ain't no in between with AJ. Nah. He's either going to be on it or he's not. The big three are done. The big three are fleeting. Tyson first. Wilder, he's still hanging on. AJ's in recovery. We just heard from Eddie Hearn, guys, that Eddie Hearn is, next year is AJ's last year. AJ has always been talentless. We've never rated him in England, mate. Okay. AJ knows he's chinny now. Same thing goes to AJ. AJ been called by Andy Ruiz. That Andy Ruiz fight really took him back. The Vladimir Klitschko fight, made him something. Even the Dillian White fight, when he fought him at the O2 and Dillian White was able to sneak in a nice left hook, it made him chinny. So, I mean, I think over the years, AJ's durability has been chipped away fight after fight. I just think in some fights, it was really exploited versus, other fights. What happened to the guy, Nikita Abbey? He seems to have gone off the radar. Last I saw him on Eddie Hearn's card. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't mind AJ retiring. Fury ducked him till the end, so only fight for AJ is Wilder. I mean, in that generation, if he fought Wilder, I would respect it, and then he can retire. I hope they can make enough money, give him $20 million a piece or whatever you're going to give him, and let him ride off in the sunset. Win, lose, or draw. I don't care who wins, honestly. I don't care who wins, because after that, there will be nothing else to look forward to. And I think the reason why these Anthony Joshua fights were so big, because people were looking forward to AJ fighting another fight. All of these fights, even the Danny Dubois fight was a Bridger fight. It was a Bridger fight. Even though Danny Dubois was a champion, he just wasn't the champion that people respected. Why? Because the IBF belt was an emailed championship belt. He just fought for it. And I defended Dubois for that because he beat Hrgovic. If Hrgovic would have beat him, it would have went to Hrgovic. If Hrgovic would have fought AJ, do you think that would have been a really big fight? No, not really. Not really at all. Somebody get rid of this fucking clown. Come on, guys. Get rid of him. Fury's biggest quack of all time. But seriously, you have to understand that the IBF belt was just the comeback for AJ. Because AJ had a good year. 23 wasn't a good year. 24 was a good year. I mean, it's supposed to have been a good year. Half of the year was. Because he knocked out Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou gave Tyson Fury the blues. And then he knocked him off. I think Usyk is still the champ unless Dubois beats him. Well, we could say that. I will agree with that. Why not? Why not? AJ has no ball. Everybody reaches a natural end. It was a setup for AJ. No one considered Dubois. Bro, imagine if you knew what you knew then. Grace Sports, Almanac. and put all your money on Daniel Dubois, yeah, you would be a rich guy. Kurt, I think Triple G will hurt Usyk but won't win. That would be interesting. As long as there's a struggle, as long as we see something that happens in this fight besides Usyk outboxing his opponent and outwitting his opponent and outworking his opponent like we're normally used to seeing. Because one thing we don't want to see is Oleksandr Usyk become a guy that's been so accustomed to winning, he has a blueprint for it, and there's nothing those fighters can do to offset that blueprint. Usyk wins, Dubois quits to the jab, and he's done. And if he quits this time, I want people to understand about Danny Dubois. That's just his shortcoming. They may throw him under the bus. They may throw him to the wolves. But understand, I'm going to tell you guys again, I told you so. Because everybody was claiming that Danny Dubois, I want you guys to listen to me, timestamp 5 minutes and 54 seconds. The timestamp is important because of what I'm going to tell you. Danny Dubois could not deal with that type of style. It will frustrate him beyond belief, and he mentally will crumble. That's what that will mean. Does that mean that he can't win other fights? No, it doesn't. It just means he can't win with that type of style. End of. Don't shit on Danny Dubois. Don't make him something that he wasn't. I think people are trying to do that because people believed in AJ so much. And since AJ got beat by this guy, they all transfer their hope and dreams to the other British guy that beat AJ. It's not that simple. Okay? It's not that simple. How was the first colonoscopy? I haven't had a colonoscopy. I should have one. That's kind of personal, isn't it? Matthew Ryan is a Jogba in with Sanchez next. It's supposed to be. The IBF has ordered it, so we'll see. Don't blame him for quitting the first time that eye wasn't no games. He didn't know how bad the eye was, though. He didn't know he had a broken eye. He was in the 10th round. But whatever. He said he wasn't focused, LOL. How can you not be focused on the unified title fight? Bill knows boxing. Shit. Hell if I know. You know what I mean? What were you doing? What was the dark place? Like Dubois got to come with more. I'm sorry. Now, if I got to go looking and digging, that's one thing. Kurt, what do you think of the next generation of heavyweights? I think they're interesting. I think the OGs, the guys that are fighting now, the Parkers, the Caballeros, I think they're going to reign for a while, and they're going to be a problem for the up-and-coming guys. I think they're going to be the true test for the guys that are the new blood right now. The Torreses, the Tomas, the Jololovs. Who else? You know, those guys. Kurt, who wins? Bud versus Canelo. I'm Bud all day, man. Crazy Legs in the building. Counterpunch to you. Alabama Slammer is back, baby. Counterpunch to you, Khan in the building. Mr. All In a way, I do want Dubois to win. That's the only way for Parker to get him. But Triple D just like catching punches with his face, and Usyk angles, volume, footwork, and head movement don't slow up. No, they won't slow up. And again, I won't think that Usyk will be just slow. I think that he's slowing down. I will never think that he's slow. Hell, I don't think that Manny Pacquiao's slow at 46. He's just not the fighter that he once was. Bud's going to win. Bud's not talking a lot. And before I get off of here, because I got a video to do about them, but I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview of what the video's about. Canelo talking shit about Bud, talking about his resume. Who have you fought? That's elite. No one. Who have you fought? Who? I think you're a great fighter, but you haven't fought great fighters. Right? Triple D to shock the world. Okay, maskless. Counterpunch to you. And, you know, and Terrence was like, well, like he told Errol Spence, well, you know what? I'll beat you. Then I'll be fighting an elite fighter. I'll be in there with an elite fighter when I beat you. Anthony Joshua, of course. Yeah, my money is on Bud. Hey man, I'm putting $500 on Bud. Hell, I might put 1,000 if my money's right. Just being real. Just keeping it real. But I'm gonna be looking at it different. See, Show, God bless him. My boy Showbiz, I couldn't be him putting 5,000, 3,000. Probably sick. I'd be sick. You guys do understand I did bet once upon a time, a few years ago, and lost. And I was sick. That's who I called. Hey, Show, talk to me. He had to coach me through that shit because I was sick. Putting money on fights that I had no business. No, I'll never do that shit. Not that I can't afford. I'm not going to do it like it's a sure thing. Not a sure thing when you gamble. It's never a sure thing when you gamble. Canelo got to go. His time is over. Well, I think it would be good and nomadic for him to be beaten by someone that's on their way out too. Right? Like, because Terrence, I think, deserves it. So I seen Showbiz win and lose money. Hell yeah, I seen him lose and win money too. But don't gamble, mate. Martin Cooper, thank you. I might not. No sure thing. It's not a gamble if it's a certain thing. I hear you. Usyk won me a lot of money versus Fury. I bet on Usyk both fights, and I know he would win. Hey, man, good for you. And those are the fights I should have actually bet on. But no, Usyk, I don't think that'll stop him training. I don't think things like that will stop. Is it a difference? I don't know. Because, he's been with Usyk so long. That's why it's such a shock. That's why it's so sudden. So it's tough. The judges will be fair to. Will the judge be fair to Crawford in Las Vegas? I don't know. That's a question you got to ask yourself. See, Crawford ain't Mayweather. So, but yeah, people, it is official. Alex Usyk and Team Usyk have parted ways. I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm about to jump off of here. Got more work to do. You guys be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening, night, or Tuesday morning. Until then, everyone has been counterpunched. I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday's live chat. And you guys have been counterpunched. Peace.